DP Photography, and today we talk about DJI Pocket 2 and is it the camera for you? A lot of people ask me, what's a great first camera to buy, or like what to look for when they're going to get that first camera. Pocket 2 definitely has some great qualities going for it, 64 megapixels and whatnot. I still wouldn't suggest it for a first photographer's camera because there's something to be said about, learning to hold the camera, looking through the viewfinder, the form, bracing your arm. These things are essential when you're learning photography because, you have to get up in that viewfinder. And with this, you're just not gonna get that. Now, if you're someone that's gonna be starting out doing a lot of vlogging, a lot of traveling, a lot of video, period, this camera might be the one for you, At $350, for just the original package, or $500 for the creator combo, you're not gonna find that in many things, And to have a gimbal to walk around with, and to be so inconspicuous with the camera. This is a great camera to start out with, I'm gonna be honest. There's some things that I don't like about this camera, and there's a lot of things that I do like about this camera. For starters, it shoots in 4K. It has a slow motion mode, HDR video, which I don't use much. Time lapse is probably my favorite thing on this Osmo Pocket 2. It creates motion time lapses, meaning that, it'll create a time lapse, which is cool in itself. But at the same time, you can, direct it to move from left to right, from right to left, side to side, up to down. You can put motion inside of your time lapse. Not only that, it does hyperlapses, where you can actually walk and cover ground. It's a real cool feature. Other than that, the photos, 64 megapixels. It has a panorama. There's a lot of things that this camera do for you. It has a story mode. Story mode is something that it takes little 4-second video clips that you can add to your story throughout the day. But there's so much that it does, you tap one button, tap 3 times, flip the camera around. Tap it again 3 times, flip the camera back around. If you tap this top button, it switches between follow, tilt locked, and FPV mode. Now if I tap it twice, 1, 2, I will move the camera gimbal head around with the joystick. So you see I'm going up and down, side to side. It's kind of weird because it's a little bit reverse on the side to side, and then double click to recenter. Boom. Now double click that again, 1, 2, and now I switch that joystick from going up and down to zooming in and zooming out. That's pretty cool. So this bottom button, you press it once to switch between photo and video, which is something I don't use much, because when you want to switch between photo and video, that's cool. But if you just swipe to the swipe left, then your video, your photo, your panorama, your story mode, all your modes are here. HDR video, slow mo, time lapse. And once you get inside of these, you can swipe left again and it tells you what kind of time lapse. Do you want a regular time lapse, or do you want a hyperlapse? A motion lapse? What do you want? Hyperlapse? And then you can swipe again and it'll tell you, how do you want your hyperlapse? Do you want your hyperlapse in 4K? Do you want it in speed times 30? I usually do it times 15. All of these things are real easily accessible. It's a very great camera. It's not like it's not the perfect camera. Things I don't like about it. It's 8-bit. I don't know if that's first in my list, but it's definitely popped in my head first, because like the color depth on my Sony, you know what I mean? Like the video that I'm talking to you on right now, the way that you see me, like this can't really compete to that. You understand? Like the colors. Not only that, you know, I'm able to change lenses, put external microphones, you know, all these different things on this camera. You know, I think I got on here, what I got on here? 85 f1.8, beautiful, you know, contrasty lens on there that shoots perfect, and it's like I'm backlit right now, so I should be, you know, the sky and stuff should be real disgusting behind me. I really don't know what it looks like, you know, but I know the picture's there. You know, I know the quality of the picture's there. But, you know, at the same time, you know, $5,000 camera, $350, $500 setup, you know, apples to oranges like everybody keeps telling me. I know they're gonna roast me in the comments. But that being said, man, this camera, you know, it's not bad. You know, it does all right, you know. It does all right. And that don't sound good, but it really does. Like, if you're gonna be walking around vlogging and, you know, a lot of people around, and, you know, a lot of times when you have your big camera, everybody's looking at you, you got people coming up to you like, what are you doing? And sometimes it feels cool, but sometimes you just want to block everybody out. You know, you can't do that when you have those big cameras, and you got to understand, you know, people are just interested, especially when you walk around with a robot like I do. But, you know, if you walk around with something like this, real small, real inconspicuous, you know, you can see yourself on the screen. They can't see you, you know, nobody knows what's going on. And it captures audio fantastic. And I'm actually recording with the audio that's attached to the camera. So just to give you an example. You know, if you're on the fence about buying the Pocket 2, just go ahead and buy it, man. Like, no matter what, it'll be a great camera to have. You'll find use for it somewhere along the line. One thing I will say about this camera, the face tracking on here, it sucks. You know, don't use the face tracking. I mean, sometimes it works, but sometimes it's unreliable. And I find that if you just throw it in FPV mode and swing it around with you when you walk, you know, it'll follow you just fine. You know, there's no sense for trying to put it in face tracking and whatnot. And, you know, it's just, you know, this, you know, it's not that pricey of a camera. That being said, if I had the chance to get it again, would I? Definitely, 100%, man. Like I say, if you're on the fence about buying an Osmo Pocket 2, just go ahead and buy it, man. You know, 500 bucks, you can't beat it. DP, as always, tell me what you think in the comments. Tell me what kind of videos that you guys want to hear from me. Also, if you aren't already, like, subscribe, ring that bell, all that good stuff, man. I thank you. DP Photography, as always. I'm out. And now I click the button to start recording. Idiot, man.